Hi, welcome to Burning Waters of the Moon Tarot. My name is Desiree, and this video is a reading for the energy of Virgo. And for this series, I'm using 3 decks. I'm using the Talisman Oracle by Nora Paskaleva. This is the Tattoo Tarot by Mega Munden. A great deck, by the way. And this is the African Tarot by Victoria Iva. So I'm doing something a little bit different this series. I am pulling the Oracle card first, and we're going to work on, we're going to work through the energies that way. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to go ahead and pull your card. Virgo, you might not have any placements in the sign of Virgo, but you do have a house in the sign of Virgo. And if you're curious to see what sign, what house Virgo is in for you when you were born, you can pull, oh, we got 2. Actually 3, that's way too many. Okay. You can pull your birth chart using the link at the bottom of the description. Rebirth is what you got. How cool. So check out this artwork. Very cool. I love the monochrome of this deck. It's very pretty. It's like it shades up. It starts like a greenish teal, and then it kind of shades up into white. And the backs do that as well. So, okay, let me read what the artist says about rebirth. Okay, so she also has like sigils that she's drawn for each of the cards, and that is Rebirth's sigil. And another cool thing is she gives us pieces of vellum so that we can make our own sigils. This card could be very positive in a reading. The Rebirth card symbolizes the end of one period and the beginning of another. This card could also represent the release of a bad habit, unhealthy attachment, struggle, or the end of a vicious cycle. The moth is born at the end of a period of painful growth. It's now able to fly. Energy never dissipates. It only changes from one to another. But if you resist leaving behind the old path, you may experience some distress. Try to see the positive energy coming at you and the opportunity you are being given. Leaving something behind and looking back could bring nostalgia and longing for the old days, but the future holds a different role for you. It's time for you to face it and start a bright new beginning. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to use the Mega Munden deck, the Tattoo Tarot, to pull our 3 main energies. I'm still using my normal spread here. Sometimes these shuffles don't go through all the way. So some people can liken this card to death, right? Which, you know, totally understandable. And that's what death means. It's like it's a change, and change is sometimes hard for us to get our minds around. It's hard for us to get into a new sort of motion. And so for that reason, a lot of people don't like change, but you know, as the Wheel of Fortune card tells us, is that everything is constantly changing, and that it is. So and when something dies or changes, it gives a chance for something new to flourish, something new to be born, and it gives us a newness and freshness. So it's not always a bad thing. And like the description said, don't like be stuck in the past, because you can miss some things that'll be coming new in the future. All right, Virgo, let's see what's going on with you and rebirth. So we've got the 10 of Cups in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Wands in reverse. Very interesting. I just did a reading for Cancer, and Cancer had the Knight of Wands in reverse as well. Though I think, yes, the Knight was in the center position. Okay, so I'm going to have to do a little moving around here. Let's see. All right, so our major arcana here, let me change your view so you can see your beautiful spread. Our major arcana here is the Wheel of Fortune, and that is that card of flux. Everything. Oh my gosh. All right, and my son just sent me a message and I saw it on my screen. I usually turn off my notifications. That kind of threw me for a loop there. I read a little bit of the text, and he's telling me that his friend is trying to play a trick on him. So we will deal with this after the reading. So the Wheel of Fortune is that card that just lets us know that everything changes, right? And there's nothing that we can do to stop the wheel. Life goes on, the sun comes up every single day, goes down every single day, and there's nothing we, mere humans, can do to stop it. And life is always going to happen to us. Life is, we can't stop bad things from happening. We can't stop good things from happening, though no one wants to. But how we deal with the situation is what makes our life, basically. If we're, always upset about someone not holding the door open for us, or someone cutting us off in traffic, and that ruins our day, well, our whole day is just being controlled by these external forces. You can just let it slide off your shoulder, like water off the back of a duck. And enjoy the things that give you pleasure. Enjoy the things you do have control over, like what you can watch on TV, what you can watch on YouTube, what can you make, the hobbies that you have. And so it's just real important not to focus on things that you really don't have any control over. And I'm really happy that this card showed up, because when there's something like a rebirth, a change that's going to happen, we don't want to get stuck in the past and thinking about how things could have been. So we do have the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Wands in reverse. And so I kind of feel like when this change does happen, that it's going to kind of, you're going to get a jolt, and you're not really going to know what to do, or I'm going to have to get some readings on this Knight, though, because this Knight in reverse, it could either mean that you're not acting impulsively like our Knight of Wands likes to. He's fire of fire. Or it could be that you're just frozen. You just don't know what to do. With our Ten of Cups here, this is our ultimate happiness. I read, this deck is a pip deck, and that means that the minor arcanas are not really illustrated like the RWS is. But they do have little nods in here to RWS. You see, we have this big peace sign here. And so, but what I feel from this Ten of Cups is that you're not quite ready to step into a new plane of emotion, a new plane of happiness. So when this rebirth, this jolt kind of happens, when this change happens, you might be just a little kind of in limbo. The change is going to force you to sort of level up a little bit, but I think there might be a little bit of resistance. So let us see what the African Tarot has to say. And it's real important. I can't stress enough how important it is just to remember that things are temporary. The wheel keeps turning. And you're not going to be in this situation, this period of adjustment, for very long. But it's just going to be very important for you to keep your your focus, and not get too down on your situation, not get too down on the change that's happening, but and just remember that it's this too shall pass. So and so that's, it's always, like I said, it's a hard thing for change, for us to deal with change and for us to adjust. But once we get adjusted, it's almost like it never happened. No, I'm not even going to say that. It happened, and it's going to change you. It's going to give you some experience. It's going to give you a little bit of know-how. It's going to put another notch in your belt. It's going to give you some wisdom. So if anything, look at it that way. All right, so let's see what our 10 of Cups has for you, Virgo. So we've got the 8 of Spears in reverse. We've got Strength upright. And then we've got 10 of Wands. That is really interesting. All 3 of these cards showed up in Cancer's reading. And Cancer's reading was about letting go, knowing when, being able to let something go that's not serving you. Then we've got the Page of Wands in reverse, the Lovers upright, Major Arcana, 9 of Spears. 9 of Spears was also in Cancer's reading. The Fool in reverse, Judgment in reverse, so was Judgment, and the Ace of Wands. I believe Ace of Wands was also in there. I shuffle, and when I put my cards away, I put them away in that I have this pile, and I put them in this way. I'll pick them up, put a little down, put it in, put a little down, put it in. And so I mix them in as I am putting them back into the deck. And then on top of that, I shuffle. So it's just, it always amazes me when they show up again. But that's just the energy of the collective. I think, we're all connected in a way, and and sometimes these readings aren't for people with a Virgo sun. Sometimes these readings are with a Virgo in a certain house. And not every Virgo sun is going to be going through the same thing at the exact same time. And so I always like to say that as well. So, okay. Well, we can't get everything in there. I think what I did for Cancer was I put it right there. And so for some of us that don't like things to be out of balance, that might kind of throw us off a bit. But to counteract that, we can put that right there. Right? I don't like it. Okay. I'm just going to let it be. Because if I put it up here, we're not going to be able to see it. And I really like to see that card. And then I would like you to see it too. I guess it's maybe not so important. I'm going to stop. Okay. So let's see what we have. Also very interesting in the way that this is similar for Cancer is that Cancer had 2 major arcana here as well. And then a major arcana here. And I want to say there might have been a major arcana in the center. It's all fading away. But, all right. Okay, let me get back to this. So, So with our Wheel of Fortune here, I feel like there is a connection that's kind of going to help you through this. Um, there is maybe a friend that you are deeply connected with, or perhaps even a spouse, someone that there is like I said, a deep connection that's going to be able to help you. Um, I also see with the Page of Wands being in reverse, there's a bit of there's going to be a bit of resistance, I think, from allowing someone to um, help you through this for some reason. I mean, it's almost like I'm getting the feeling like you feel like you need to do this alone. But I really don't feel like that's the answer here. I feel that you're going to need to be able to rely on this connection, on this person, to sort of help you, to be there for you to express your feelings, your frustrations, and just allow that person to be that shoulder to lean on. And I know sometimes it's hard for us to be vulnerable, even with the person that we're most closest to. Just expressing vulnerability and showing others that we're not this strong boulder, non-feeling boulder. It can be sometimes hard for some of us. And others can readily just release that type of energy. And but just remember that we're never alone in this world. There is always somebody who is willing to listen. It just takes a little bit of trial and error, finding those people that we can trust, finding those people that are willing to sit through the discomfort when someone else is crying or upset. Some people just can't handle that type of emotion, and some people get triggered by it. And other people are maybe just too empathic to allow, and haven't, some empaths haven't learned to sort of put up that defense, and not letting the emotions of others kind of flood in, right? So like I said, it just takes some trial and error in finding those people who you can release in front of. And so it's going to be real important for you to release this frustration as you're going through this time of change. And I do see a little bit of resistance here, like what I feel with this Knight of Wands. I feel that you're going to really just sort of be paralyzed with, like, not indecision, but just the fact that this is happening, right? You're not really gonna like this. And you're going to want to push this away. You're going to want to push and hide from this discomfort. You're not going to want to face it head on. And we all know what happens when we don't express that part of ourselves, when we keep those types of heavy emotions, when we keep them bottled in, eventually they explode in an uncontrolled manner. And the best thing to do in that type of situation is not even to get to that point, is to sort of temper that release, and doing it by having that person that you can confide in, having that person you can share things with, and share it with that person as they come up, and not hiding it, and not going through this on your own by yourself. And with this Ten of Cups here, I really am happy to see that we have this Strength card. I do like we've got Strength and the Lovers here. I mean, you are a very, very strong person, and you've got a very strong resolve to you. And I do see that you're already carrying a bit of a burden as it is in regards to this change. But I think with this change, this rebirth that is going to occur, I think what's going to happen is that is going to allow you a chance to release some of this burden that you've been carrying. It's going to allow you some time to not only process this change, but also take a look at all the other things that you've been holding on to, and maybe some other things that are keeping you from attaining this new this higher level of happiness. I see that if you can sort of temper the energy, if you will, of this change, it's going to have a great impact on not only you, but those that are around you in your inner circle, because you'll be able to, you won't be so reactive. And then as you experience this with this connection that you have, it's going to bring you guys closer, and it's also going to make you feel a lot more comfortable when something like this happens again, where you're not going to feel so determined to go through it by yourself. You're actually going to say, hey, that worked for me last time, let's try it again. I mean, you might not consciously say that, but you're going to be led to that way, because you're going to be led in that direction because of that notch in your belt that you had. You're instinctually going to know that because you tempered this situation, that instead of exploding, you're going to slowly let the steam out. Like when you're boiling something, and instead of pulling the top right off and scalding your hand, you pull the lid out this way and you let some of the steam out that way, and then you can pull the lid away. So it's sort of tempered it a little bit, and you protected yourself in a way. You had a shield, right? So that's what I see here for you, Virgo. There is a rebirth coming. There's something wonderful that's going to happen after this change, and there's going to be a newfound way of being, a newfound way of looking at the world and of being who you are. And I see that there's going to be a release. Just remember that you temper those emotions, okay? Let them out slowly, as opposed to letting them explode all out at once. You don't have to go through this by yourself. So that's what I have for you, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next video. Take care.